Hello, welcome to this edition of the North Carolina Association of Fire Chiefs Command Post. Today we have with us Chief Tracy Mosley. Chief Mosley serves as the leader of our association's recruitment and retention program. Chief Mosley, thank you for spending some time with us today, and we have you here to talk about something that is very important to the North Carolina Association of Fire Chiefs and to the Fire Service of North Carolina, and it's about volunteer and our ability to recruit and retain that percentage of population of firefighters that our state has that is by far the majority of the firefighters that serve our communities. Chief Mosley, tell us a little bit about the recruitment and retention program that we have.
Thank you, Chief Hall, for having me here today. And I'd like to just start by talking about Phase 1 and the successes that we had with Phase 1 portion of the grant. And that would be that over 518 volunteers were recruited through our Phase 1 grant. We consider that a great success across
Absolutely.
the eastern, Piedmont, and western parts of the state. That has since had a sunset on that grant, and we're into our second phase now. In our second phase, we're glad to say that we have 13 individual fire departments as well as 2 associations that are in this grant with us now.
So by becoming one of these agencies that is a part of the grant, tell me a little bit about what happens once they've been selected and what are the tools and some of the experiences that we give these departments to help them be better at the recruitment and retention part.
Okay, for those 15 selected agencies that went through the process, went through the interviews, they were selected based on their need, also how they how the questions were answered pertaining to their need within the fire departments. Some of the tools that they will get out of this will be just extra help from the North Carolina Association of Fire Chiefs, also our partner, the International Association of Fire Chiefs that we have contracted with, which is our Volunteer Workforce Solutions. Within that, this year, between the next 18 months within our program, we're looking at not only helping with recruitment, but also retention. And the retention piece, we're offering scholarships as well as tuition assistance to some of those that are going to school. And some of the other things that we're helping with will be sending folks to seminars and also the conferences within the state of North Carolina.
That's great news for the fire service. And just to kind of remind everyone that this is the second grant that we've received from, like you mentioned, we partner with the International Association of Fire Chiefs, but this is a FEMA grant. And this is money that is coming directly back to our state that we are allowed to use to help agencies across our state work on recruiting and retaining volunteers.
Yep.
Some of the successes we've had, like you mentioned a while ago, during the first phase, we recruited a good number of new volunteers into the fire service. And that's what this program is about from the Chiefs Association. We wanted to do something to help because we've heard the stories of how hard it is to recruit and retain volunteers. And with the demands that people have in their everyday life, with family, with jobs, with their social activities, finding people that can be dedicated to this level of training and this level of commitment to their community can be challenging at times.
Absolutely. And we're finding that, sometimes maybe we as the fire service are sending the wrong message. We may be actually asking them to come in as a volunteer and actually, when they see something on TV as far as a volunteer fighting a fire and this, there's a lot more to fighting fire than actually putting the water on the fire, as you all know. There's different types of positions that you can have within a volunteer fire department, whether they want to work with, do a secretarial position, administrative position, treasury, help out with the board, help out with the auxiliary. And what we have found, especially during the last grant process, we have found that allowing some of the folks that want to come in and acquire those positions, once they see the troops going out and going on the fire calls and hearing the trucks, they kind of raise their hand and say, hey, how can I do that?
Right.
What do I have to do to be one of those firefighters? So not necessarily does everyone have to come in and right out the gate start training to be a firefighter. It can be a slow process, and that's what we're trying to get out across the state of North Carolina.
Well, from my personal perspective, I grew up in a volunteer department, and I can remember the mindset that we have was that when we recruited folks, we were looking for those people that would become good community folks, but also good firefighters. We never really looked at the non-traditional role of volunteering in the fire service, such as those people that can help with public education events, or maybe they could become the bookkeeper for the
Right.
fire department. Those types of roles are very important to our organizations, and they are needed as well. So if anything, this grant taught me through the first phase with the phenomenal video that we put together that did receive some awards, that there's more to it running one of these volunteer organizations than just being the person that puts the suit on, that goes into a burning building or responds to a motor vehicle crash, or they're going out to help someone who's had a medical emergency. That's the important thing here is that we realize how hard it is to recruit these people, to retain them. And that's the livelihood of the volunteer fire departments and the service that we provide throughout the state. Chief
Absolutely.
Mosley, you guys are doing a phenomenal job for us. Keep up the great work. We look forward to hearing more from you about the scholarships, about the future progress we've made. And I hope this continues to be an avenue that the North Carolina Association of Fire Chiefs can drive forward for our fire departments to continue to make our service the best it can be for the customers in our great state. Thank you again.